HYBE, known for its meticulous strategic planning, found itself in a rare situation where fans dictated the narrative first. The phrase Jungkook World Tour appeared everywhere, not as a rumor to be confirmed, but as a statement already accepted as reality. The public reaction transcended typical fandom enthusiasm. It became an organized movement where millions of people across languages, continents, and cultures united under one goal: to bring Jungkook to a stage near them. To understand why this spread so rapidly, one has to look beyond typical fandom culture. Jungkook's global reach is not confined by demographics or regions. His audience ranges from hardcore K-pop followers to mainstream pop consumers in the West, casual listeners in Southeast Asia, and young fans discovering music through short-form content. The overlap of these diverse communities created an algorithmic storm. Every video mentioning Jungkook, whether about his performances or a simple clip of his stage presence, fed into the online acceleration. Suddenly, social media was filled with one shared visual audiences chanting his name and clips of his live vocals that circulated endlessly. The effect was cumulative. The more people saw him, the more they wanted to experience him live. What makes this surge unique is how it feels self-sustaining even without an official campaign. The idea of Jungkook's solo tour grew stronger every day. It wasn't a coordinated media strategy, but a global reaction that built itself through repetition and shared anticipation. Fans no longer waited for news. They became the news. This form of fan-driven anticipation is extremely rare in global entertainment. Usually, labels build hype. Here, it was reversed, the audience built it, and the company was left to catch up. The reason Jungkook became the center of this phenomenon is not merely popularity. His artistry connects in a way that feels universal. His tone, his performance, and his way of presenting authenticity in front of the camera give people the sense of witnessing something real. Every era in music has an artist who defines what connection means for that generation. And for this one, Jungkook stands at the center. His appeal crosses traditional pop boundaries. In one space, he's seen as the ultimate performer who can deliver stadium-level energy. In another, he's perceived as an introspective creator who represents personal growth and sincerity. These two sides combined make the idea of a solo tour more than just concerts. It becomes a cultural expectation. When fans imagine a Jungkook tour, they don't only picture stages and songs. They imagine moments that define a collective memory, the kind of experiences people talk about years later as the concert that changed everything. The expectation isn't built on hype alone, but on the accumulated trust in his consistency, skill, and creative identity. That's why this global call for a solo tour isn't about demand in the commercial sense. It's about the audience's collective need to witness the artist they believe has transcended the system that built him. It's a global statement. Jungkook's artistry deserves its own world. Inside HYBE's ecosystem, where data and analytics often guide every decision, this organic surge likely caused both surprise and re-evaluation. The company has always balanced between strategic timing and market conditions before launching major projects. But Jungkook's fans shifted that timeline. They didn't ask when they declared now. That collective energy forced a new kind of reflection within the company. For years, HYBE had navigated global campaigns through precise, almost mathematical calculation. Yet this case exposed the limits of prediction models. Algorithms can measure engagement, but they can't measure collective emotion. The online movement for Jungkook's solo tour wasn't just trending, it was redefining what trending means. It also showed something deeper. Jungkook's career has reached a level where the brand, the management, and even the industry itself must adapt to him, not the other way around. The speed of fan-driven narratives has outpaced corporate timelines. For HYBE, it wasn't just about responding to a trend, but recognizing that the artist they helped build now commands a power beyond their marketing framework. There's symbolism behind this phenomenon that stretches beyond entertainment. The call for a Jungkook solo tour represents a generation's voice in the digital era, the ability of collective momentum to reshape how art is delivered. It's not just that fans want concerts, it's that they're redefining how global artists should move. The message is clear. Fans believe Jungkook's solo artistry deserves a global stage that reflects his influence. They've watched him carry stages as a performer, deliver live vocals that resonate beyond screens, and represent a balance between perfection and humanity that modern pop rarely achieves. They don't see him as part of a system, they see him as the system's breakthrough. That's why every mention of a potential tour spreads like wildfire. It's not only an update, it's a shared vision. Even fans who have never met or spoken to each other feel aligned under the same anticipation. When they post about it, they aren't just asking, they're reinforcing a cultural truth that Jungkook deserves a world stage of his own. Normally, online trends peak and fade within hours, but this one hasn't stopped. The volume of conversation remains high weeks and even months after it began. Every time Jungkook appears publicly, the conversation restarts, amplified by new audiences who discover the discussion through algorithms. This cycle, appearance, conversation, amplification, became the digital rhythm of Jungkook's presence. Fans didn't need confirmation to keep the topic alive. They simply kept talking because the subject never lost its relevance. The mere possibility of a tour has generated more sustained engagement than some full-fledged promotions by other artists. For media outlets, this is also a signal of how Jungkook's presence dictates global attention cycles. When his name trends, the numbers aren't localized, they're synchronized globally. The US, Japan, Indonesia, Brazil, and Europe all react in near real time. It's a rare level of simultaneous engagement that very few artists can achieve. That level of consistency shows something profound. Jungkook has become a constant in the digital conversation of pop culture, not a temporary highlight. The solo tour speculation simply gave that constant a focus point, a topic around which the entire global fandom could orbit. This phenomenon is more than a viral moment. It's a turning point for how modern pop operates. Jungkook's case demonstrates that when an artist's authenticity aligns with global connectivity, control over narratives shifts entirely. No company, no algorithm, and no media outlet can dictate it once it becomes organic. HYBE may manage the logistics of Jungkook's career, but the direction has been publicly claimed by the audience. This doesn't undermine the company. Instead, it highlights the evolution of power in global entertainment. Artists like Jungkook stand at the center of a new equation, one where fan passion directly influences corporate action. The fact that a solo tour rumor could shake social platforms this way reveals how culture itself has shifted. Music is no longer a product consumed. It's a shared movement experienced collectively. And in that movement, Jungkook has become the symbol of how far connection can travel when authenticity leads. At the heart of this momentum lies Jungkook's presence, something that doesn't need marketing to be felt. Whether on stage or on camera, he communicates power without trying to. His performances don't rely on theatrics but precision. His expression, voice control, and stage awareness translate into something universally recognizable: mastery. Fans don't rally around every artist in this way. This kind of momentum only happens when people collectively believe that the performer has reached a point where the stage feels incomplete without them. Jungkook represents that stage completeness. Every time he sings live, he reinforces what audiences already know, that he's built for arenas, stadiums, and global attention. The anticipation for a solo tour stems from this understanding. People have already seen fragments of what he can do, and those fragments were enough to make the world want more. When he performed solo on global award shows, audiences didn't just see a performance. They saw a preview of what a world tour could look like, and now that vision has solidified into an unspoken truth. Jungkook belongs on his own stage, in his own world, leading his own global movement. While the article avoids describing emotion directly, there's a specific structure in how anticipation for Jungkook builds. It isn't chaotic, it's organized. Fans have created a virtual infrastructure: hashtags, digital artwork, streaming timelines, data tracking, all revolving around one potential event. This isn't casual engagement, it's commitment turned into culture. Even people outside the fanbase encounter it daily through their feeds. The anticipation has become a background rhythm of the internet, quietly influencing how other artists plan their releases or how brands design campaigns. For example, brands watching this phenomenon have begun timing their marketing around Jungkook-related activity, recognizing that whenever his name trends, engagement numbers spike globally. The connection between his digital identity and public energy has created what analysts now call Jungkook waves, peaks in online activity that surpass those of entire industries. The solo tour trend is the largest of these waves so far. It represents not just the demand for concerts, but the convergence of digital culture, fan power, and artistic presence, all centered around one person. Though HYBE has not confirmed any details, subtle movements within the company suggest awareness. Certain executives have referenced expanding solo projects in investor briefings. Promotional materials have begun placing Jungkook's imagery more prominently in international markets. Internal schedules reportedly include reserved slots for potential large-scale activities in 2026. None of these confirm a tour, but all of them align with one undeniable truth. The company knows. They've seen the numbers, the hashtags, the view counts, and the real-time analytics. HYBE may be silent publicly, but internally, no one can ignore a movement this size. The irony is clear. While the company calculates, the world has already decided. Fans aren't waiting for approval, they're waiting for logistics. Every day without an announcement strengthens the belief that something massive is coming. It's no longer a matter of if, but when. In the past, global music power was defined by Western metrics, tour grosses, radio play, chart performance. But Jungkook's rise has rewritten those parameters. His streaming numbers, online engagement, and cross-platform visibility have proven that digital dominance translates to cultural dominance. The demand for his solo tour amplifies this shift. The world no longer measures success by geography, but by connectivity. When an artist like Jungkook can unite audiences from different time zones under one topic for months, that's not fandom, that's global influence. It demonstrates how the axis of pop culture has shifted eastward, and Jungkook stands as its most visible representative. This is why HYBE's challenge is not just about organizing events, it's about managing a global transition in perception. The traditional hierarchy of pop influence no longer applies. Jungkook doesn't need validation from Western institutions anymore. Those institutions are now the ones reacting to him. Most digital trends fade once they hit their peak. Jungkook's doesn't. It keeps regenerating through new content, fan edits, and viral clips. This longevity reveals something important. The solo tour demand is not an isolated reaction, but part of a larger cultural narrative. Fans see Jungkook as the artist who bridges their world with the future of pop. They believe his solo era represents a form of artistic independence that defines modern music identity. The tour is a natural extension of that narrative. It's not just about concerts, it's about giving form to everything he's built through sound, visuals, and global presence. The constant resurfacing of hashtags like #Jungkook World Tour and #Jungkook Live 2026 shows that this isn't hype waiting to expire, it's an idea waiting to materialize. The internet rarely stays loyal to one topic for this long, unless it represents something larger than entertainment. And for Jungkook, it does. It represents validation of a journey that started in shared stages but evolved into a solo era where he stands as both creator and performer, capable of shaping the direction of an entire generation of artists.